So do y'all see a lot of fix and flips in your area, Frank?
Yeah, there's quite a bit.
Yeah.
It seems like there always is.
You know, it's funny you say that. I think when times are good, there's a lot of them, and when
Yeah.
times are bad, there's even more of them. But I think you're right. I think there's always, you know what the issue is? I think most loan officers, they hear fix and flip and you go, oh, I don't want to touch that thing because I don't know enough about it. Is that,
Yeah.
and so it's like, it's kind of like I bought a Tesla, I don't know, 6 months ago or so, never saw a charger ever in my life until I got the car. And now they're freaking everywhere.
Yeah.
Right, because I know they were already they were always, but they were there a year ago. I just didn't
Yeah.
see them, and I think the fix and flips are kind of the same thing. Because I'm afraid to do that kind of loan because I don't know anything about it, but come to find out they're everywhere, and they're looking for a loan officer that does them. Because let's be honest, most don't.
Right.
Is that
Yeah.
is that is that kind of like once you started advertising that you did this? My suspicion is like
A lot of people, yeah,
they
come
call
to
you.
me. Yeah, and real estate agents too. Real estate agents and loan officers. It's definitely a thing to learn, I think, if you're an originator, if you want to take the time to do it. They're out there. They're just out there. Here's the thing with your typical fix and flip, Carl, is going
Tell
to
me.
be, that cookie cutter residential home,
Yeah.
right? That
Yeah.
just somebody owned forever and didn't take care of, or then they died or whatever, right? And then there's this house that, you know, could, if somebody dumped 100 grand into it, right? You could pick it up for 350. If you dump 100 grand into it, you could sell it for 700,
Yeah.
something like that. They're just out there, and it's those properties too. It's really interesting. You know what's surprising is how many first time flippers I come across, because people are interested in it. They see that house, and they go, man, I know that somebody's going to get that and they're going to put some money into it and they're going to flip that thing. I wish I knew how to do that, and so they
Mhm.
might inquire with the real estate agent, like, man, I was thinking about doing something like this. So, and these types of loans, they're available for people like that. You can do it. You can
Yeah.
do it. Yeah.
And we're
So
and we're gonna give an easy source to do that. Hey, one question real quick. So your customer, right, the borrower, are they typically the person that's going in there and putting new sheetrock into place, or are they somebody that's kind of orchestrating it being done, or is it about some of each or
it's about 50-50. Yeah. You will get, you'll have some who they're not doing it, but they got a contractor buddy who's going to
yeah.
help them with
Mhm,
it, who
mhm,
might
mhm.
probably partner in the deal, right?
Got it.
So the person has the money to put the down and pay the closing and all that, but doesn't have the skill set. But their
Got it.
contractor buddy does have the skill set. So the contractor buddy comes in and they negotiate some sort of a split on the profit.
Got it.
That's pretty common. A lot of times, too, you do find the contractors who, have been remodeling homes for people for years, and they go, "I'm just going to do this on my own. I'm just going to buy these things and do it on my own." So you get that as well. So it's
Yeah.
kind of a mix. It really is a mix. Then you got the pros, right? The guys, they got their team. That's what they do for a living. They just go out,
Yeah.
find them, flip them, find them, flip them.
It's not a side gig, it's their
It's
gig.
it's their gig. Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about. I want to talk a little bit about like how do you find the customer and what are some of the nuances about it. Before we go into that, like if somebody says, "Hey, uh, I I don't even know enough to be dangerous, but every now and then a fix and flip might come off my table." You actually work with loan officers on that, right? Like you
Yeah.
help. What's the is there a website or something?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, if something comes across your desk once in a while, and instead of just saying no, I don't do it, you go, well, I know somebody who might be able to help. If we can help for sure. That's work with Lulu, Lulu. So workwithlulu.com. The company I have is Lulu Capital. It's a family business. Lulu's my wife's nickname within the family, so that's why that's like that.
How cool is that?
Yeah, so it's workwithlulu.com. If anybody wanted to go there and just get information, or if you happen to have something you want to run past me, and it's not just fix and flip, we do all the weird. Brother, I funded a cannabis deal a couple months ago, so just weird
Wait,
stuff
wait,
in
wait, wait.
general.
I want to just clarify something. You didn't do a cannabis deal. You did a loan for a company that was a cannabis company. I just want to
Correct.
clarify that. You didn't ship in a container
Nah,
of weed or anything. You did a
no.
mortgage for somebody that had cannabis as their
Yeah.
income.
A grow facility in
Yeah, yeah,
Sacramento.
okay, okay.
Yeah.
I just wanted to clarify here.
But just the weird stuff,
Yeah,
I kind of, Carl, like you've been doing this a long time. I've been doing the residential stuff for almost 40 years, 38 years. And part of me was just like, man, I just kind of want to explore other things just to do
yeah.
something different,
A
and
little spice in life. I get it. I
yeah,
get
and
it.
so
I
then
get it.
I started exploring it about a year ago, just kind of looking into it and doing research and dabbling and seeing if people had a need. And sure enough, there's a need for it out there. It's not as demanding. Look, it's like this, brother. You're going to make a lot more money as a loan officer going after qualified agents and going after purchase business, right? And working your past client database for refinance, without question, right? But if you were going to, some people dabble into like divorce or CPAs or,
Yeah,
if you want to splinter off and have that other thing,
it's a great little vertical.
it really is. It's a
Yeah.
great vertical. And if you start getting the word out there, even to your real estate partners, I do this now, commercial, fix and flip,
Mhm.
multifamily, hard money. You start getting the word out there. I was shocked at how fast it delivered inquiries, not
Mhm.
closings, but
Mhm. Mhm.
inquiries. A lot of inquiries.
Well, the other thing for me, like a good reason to be able to have a source for this is if my agent calls me and say, "Hey, I got a guy that wants to do this. Can you help?" I always want to say yes with that because if I say no, I don't do those, and now they call loan officer Larry down the street and he does do them. Now he's got an inroads into my referral partner. They go, well, if Larry helped me with this, and gosh, Larry seemed like he did a great job, just like Carl does, but he does these too. Maybe if I'm not available that day, or maybe they just call Larry to begin with anyway. So for
Right.
me, it's I want to have a source for anything that I possibly can. Not that I'm going to make it my main business, but so that I don't lose them to somebody else that kind of does that thing. So let's talk a little bit about like on finding the customers. Is that how it works? Like most of the time, it's just somebody goes, "Hey, by the way, do you do these?" Or
Yes.
is there a way that I can like reach out to these people to let them know that this is available?
I
Or
mean, you could do your direct to, it's if you want to go direct to consumer, it'd be the same thing as going direct to consumer for anything else. And so your
yeah,
results are definitely going to vary with that. I don't, I've found that for me, real estate agents are a great source still for this. So
yeah,
they're absolutely a great source for it.
hmm
There's a lot of real estate agents that kind of specialize in quote unquote investor, right? So they're out there.
yeah, hmm
But even the ones that don't specialize in that, just people come, they're the go-to person in real estate in their sphere of influence. And so people come up to them, hey, I got a commercial thing. Can you help me with that? And if the realtor doesn't know about you and doesn't work in that world, most of the time they're going to do just like we're talking about. They might just go, nah, that's not my thing.
right,
I
right,
don't know. But if they know you and they know you're out there, they'll say, no, I do have somebody who might be able to help, right? I got a guy, who might be able to help.
hmm
You just want to position yourself like that. So really, it's really, if you were originator and you wanted to tap into start doing these things on your own, the real estate community is definitely a great
yeah,
place to
hmm
start. Because here's what you find too, brothers. A lot of real estate agents, they do fix and flips. That
themselves.
because they're in the business.
They see a good deal.
Yeah, they say a good deal. I'm going to flip it. And there's not a, I don't know what the percentage is. I have no idea. I'd be pulling it right out of my rear end, right? But there is a fairly notable percentage of real estate agents who are successful real estate agents. The
hmm
successful ones, they definitely dabble in fix and
hmm
flip. They
When they see a
definitely
good
do.
deal, they see a
Yeah,
distressed property. They
right.
they get first
Pick it
pickings.
right up. Right. That's what they do.
What kind of loan to value is like? What do we? So do I have to pay cash for the house and then they do a loan for the fix ups, or do I get a loan for the whole package, or like how does that work?
Yeah, so it's a loan for the whole package. And so what you'll typically come in with is uh, what they're going to pay for the house, what they're going to offer, and
Okay.
then also what it's going to cost to fix it all up,
Okay.
and then what it's going to be worth after it's all fixed. And those are
So
the
let's throw some
three.
numbers in. So let's say I bought the house for 300.
Mm-hmm,
I'm going to put, and just for easy math, I'm going to put 100 into it. So now I've got
mm-hmm,
four into it,
mm-hmm,
and it's going to be worth seven when I finish.
mm-hmm.
What kind of do they loan me the three plus the 100 to fix it up, or do they?
They'll loan you. What they'll do is they'll take the three plus the 100,
Uh-huh.
right, and they'll
Yeah.
give you like 80 or 90% of that. for the loan
Got it.
amount.
Got it. I got it.
Right.
Okay.
So they do look at loan to value. Most of the time, though, it's like it's an irrelevant ratio, loan to value. It's loan to cost. Loan to cost is really what they're looking at, loan
Got
to
it.
cost. Yeah. And the more, and experience is everything. Experience is everything. If you've got great experience, you can get that loan. There's lenders out there that'll do 100%. So,
So now if the fix and flip person, they have a track history, it's easy.
mhm.
It's getting 100% as possible.
Oh, yeah, like crazy.
And what
Yeah.
is track history? What do you mean by that? Like, are you 10 a month or?
No, there, it's if you've got 2 to 3 in the past 36 months, you're going to be looked at as experienced. You probably won't get 100, although some lenders in some areas will do
I
that.
get it. I get it.
You'll probably get 90 loan to cost, or maybe even
Okay.
92, 93% loan to
I get it.
cost.
Hey there. Hey, if you're loving the tips so far, be sure to hit that subscribe button right down there and then tap the little bell so that you never miss out on more free cool tips coming your way. Also, I would love to hear from you. Drop a comment beneath there. Let me know what you think or tell me what you'd like to hear next.
But if you've got 10 in the past 2 years or past 3 years, you're real experience at that point. But you have to
Yeah.
define the experience too. It's most of the time fix and flips, Carl, are going to be, it just needs new everything, roof, windows, floors, paint, doors, kitchen, bathrooms. That's big remodel. That's just remodeling is what that is, right?
Mhm.
That's not adding a bedroom or an ADU or adding square footage. When you start adding square footage, now the experience requirement becomes, do you have experience in that?
And building. Right.
Yeah, in construction, not
Right.
remodeling, but in construction. And if you don't have experience in that, well, then you don't have experience doing this,
Got
right?
it.
So even though you've got 10 fix and flips that were all remodels, that's great. That helps. That's good to see. And it is helpful. But if you haven't added square footage before, you're kind of starting from scratch on this. So
And what about reserves? What kind of reserves does the borrower what are we advising them for?
you're going to have your down payment, your closing costs, and you're going to have at least 6 months payments, and more than likely, most of the time, about 10% of the rehab cost left over in reserves. Hmm.
I got it. I got it. So I can't
Yeah.
be broke. I
Can't be
gotta.
broke, yeah. But
Yeah.
the interesting thing with fix and flip though is most of the time it gets done in an entity, right? So like an LLC, and a lot of the time the person who's going to do the fix and flip will create a brand new entity just for that house. So they'll name it. If I'm buying 123 Main Street, they'll get an entity 123 Main LLC, and they'll do it just for this house, and they can bring people onto this LLC that maybe have the experience or
I got it.
have the cash, even the cash,
Mhm.
right? Now, people are going to have to be a personal guarantor, in depending on percentage of ownership and who's bringing the cash to the table, that kind of a thing. But it is kind of unique in that you could literally be someone who has no experience whatsoever, doesn't even have the cash, and find people to participate, form an LLC. This one's bringing cash, this one's bringing experience, but I'm in the middle of it all, right? And participate in a fix and flip. It's interesting. It really is.
And how do I get paid as the loan officer? Do I get paid? So I'm assuming like again like let's say that the house is going to be 300,000 and my supplies and labor is going to be 100,000. So when I close on the loan, do they obviously they have I have to get the 300,000 right away so I can buy the house. And then do I get the 100,000 all at once or do we draw on it or how does that work?
Yeah, so you're going to have the base loan amount, whatever that is. So they're going to go, let's say it's 90% loan to cost. That's going to be the base loan amount.
Okay.
And then you're going to have the amount that's going to cost to rehab it. Let's call it $100,000.
Yeah.
So let's say the base loan amount's 300, the loan to cost is 100. That's a $400,000 total loan. That's what the
Yeah.
loan originator is going to get paid on. So whatever the points are that you charge, that's what you're going to get paid on as a total. But that money for the repairs doesn't get funded to the buyer at all. It's like ready to draw. It's like a construction loan at that
I
point
got it.
where
I got it.
there's going to be draws. So, and the interesting thing is what a lot of first timers don't understand is that, and it's probably one of the reasons they have the reserve requirement is you get funded on the repairs after they're done. So that means somebody's got to
Mhm.
pony up for the repair to get done first. Okay.
Okay.
After it's done, sometimes if it's minor stuff, you can just show photos that it was completed, or
Right.
before, after, and get the money funded. But if it's bigger stuff, they're going to actually send an inspector out there to take a look and make sure it was done. And those happens very quickly. Those don't take
Yeah.
long. This is the business they're in, so they have inspectors.
Yeah.
But so there is going to be an upfront cost to the repair. So if you're working with a contractor, maybe, okay, I need to get the roof on. Contractor says, well, that's going to be $20,000. I need, 7,000 up front for supplies and labor, right? Or whatever, 7 grand up front. It's your responsibility to come up with the 7 grand, pay the contractor. When the contractor's done, he submits you the bill saying, you already paid me 7, now you owe me 13, right?
Got it.
That you submit in for the money, saying, I already paid 7, I owe him 13, the roof is done. Then they fund you the full 20. So you get your 7 back, and now you've got the 13 to pay.
I got it.
Pay the contractor. And every time you get a draw, it costs money. Those draws cost between two to $300 a draw. So, and sometimes they even have limits on how many times you can draw. They may have a 10 draw limit, right? Or something like that. So you have to be thoughtful of that, right? It's like, okay, I got all these things going on. I don't want to draw every single time. Like, hey, I put a faucet in the sink. It cost me $13. Oh, great. Yeah, $200 for your 13. You know what I'm saying?
For your 13.
Yeah. So you want to kind of bundle things together if you can,
right,
and be thoughtful about it, because you are going to get charged for the draw.
right. So if I'm a loan officer and and somebody says, hey, can you do a fix and flip for me? And we go, and we think to ourselves, well, I might not, but Frank, my homie, can help me out with this. Is there any, or what are the qualifying questions that I would ask? So if I'm the loan officer, would is there any, is there,
5 things.
tell me.
5 things.
Okay.
Okay. Whether First of all, we need to know where it is, right? So that I wasn't even counting that.
Okay.
Just need to know where it is. Give me an address if you got an address. We can look it up, right?
Okay.
But we're going to look at, what are they going to pay for it?
Okay.
What's it going to cost?
Okay.
What could they sell it for? Those are the first 3 things, right?
Yeah.
What kind of cash do they have to work with?
Okay.
Okay. Do they have enough for down payment, closing, and reserves? Right.
Yeah. Okay.
What's their experience? Right.
Oh,
Those are the 5 things. Well, you could say 6. We do look at credit score, right?
Of course, of course.
Credit
Right.
score is in there. That's base. Address, credit score, that's a given, right? But those 5 things are really the things that need to be known. And with those 5 things known, then we can, including credit score and the address, some call it 7. But with those things known, then very quickly we can determine what the person can do.
Very good.
And what it would cost, what they're, we can even determine what they're going to, not 100%, but we could determine if it's a good deal, like what they're probably going to net if it took them 6 months to do the whole thing.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah.
And then, but again, me as the loan officer, I get paid soon. The day it closes, I get my 100% of my pay my commission when it closes.
Yeah. It's just the same way you get paid to broker a deal.
Like any other time. Yeah. I get it.
You close the deal, you're going to wind up getting paid however you get
Yeah,
paid.
got it.
For us, they usually wire us our money, the
Right.
next day. Yeah.
Or bring it in wheelbarrows full of gold. Same sort of thing. Same sort of thing. So cool.
Yeah.
Hey, what was that site again? For
Work. It's Work with Lulu, Lulu, workwithlulu.com. Yeah. If you're out there, you're listening or you're watching, you're just curious, you want to learn more, go ahead and do that. If you happen to have something you need some help with, do that. If you want to know, like, I've only got like 2 or 3 places that I like to send mine, because I've worked with them. I trust them. I know what they're doing. Right. If you want to know who those people are, same thing. Just go to workwithlulu.com and I can connect you.
And that's not like a paid membership or anything. That's just an information site where
Yeah,
if you got a deal,
it's just going to pop up in my CRM, say this person would like to chat with you. And I'm just going to call and say, what's up? What do you need help with?
Real complicated funnel you got there.
Yeah.
So, I love
very
that.
complicated.
Workwithlulu.com. Love it. Cool. Anything I should have asked you that I didn't?
I don't think so. I think that's about, people do want to get paid, right? I don't know that we covered that. So
the profit thing.
It's a profit thing. Yeah. So I do get loan officers, they'll send me something and they'll say, hey man, can I get paid on this? Well, the truth is you can, because these are business loans. These are not consumer loans. These are not in the RESPA world at all, right? So there's no RESPA anything with these loans, typically, right? Typically. But so since they're not RESPA, then yes, you can certainly get paid on them For us, we require that you have an LLC, at least an LLC.
Right.
Because then I'm paying one corporation to another corporation. That's clean and easy. There's not, nobody's going to
Got it.
care about that. But when you start getting into, I'm going to pay you on a 1099, well, then there's like in California, 1099, there's rules, man. Like for me to
Yeah.
legitimately pay somebody a 1099, like you got to fit like a very tight box. And if
Right.
you
Right.
don't fit it, then I have liability on my end. I'm not interested in
Right.
it at all. So
Right.
if you got an LLC, good to go. And I would say this for anybody that's in the loan business or in the real estate business, having an LLC, just there, they're not expensive, Carl. They're very inexpensive. You can have a bank account. It's
Yeah.
wise, I think, to have an
I,
LLC.
I,
I mean,
I agree with that too. We do the same thing. Or you could pay them in cases of cigarettes. Either
yeah,
way, it would be either way.
that's
I don't
always
even,
on the table.
I don't
Yeah,
even know
yeah,
where that came from. So
right.
anyway. All
Yeah,
right, Frank, I appreciate you, brother. So workwithlulu.com.
yeah,
It's just a great you get with Frank, and if you guys can work something out and he can help out with one of these things, I think it's a good thing. I think it's a good that's same thing in my organization. So if somebody asks me, "Hey, Carl, do you do reverse mortgages?" In your branch, I go, "Absolutely." Truth be known, there's somebody at the corporate office. We
right,
refer them all to that one person. But again, I don't want to lose that. I don't want to lose that resource of that person, to somebody else. So the things that I don't do a lot of are like commercial, same thing. I
right.
refer it to the commercial division. So it's just, it's not that I want to be the end all and know all of that particular thing necessarily. Maybe so, but not necessarily. It's just good to have a source. And Frank, appreciate you making this available that people can use you as that source. And
Absolutely.
you're a good guy,
Yeah,
Mr.
good guy. We'll take care of you.
Mr.
If it
Mr.
don't work out,
Frank
don't work out. It's all
Garay.
good.
Mr. Frank Garay, you're a good guy. So, all right,
All right,
man. I
brother.
appreciate you, brother.
Hey, you too, man. Thanks so much.
All right, bye.
Bye.